Modern metal is getting closer and closer to the electronic productions. The tones of the instruments are becoming incredibly refined. Drum tones in particular often rely on synthetic samples solely. And the large part of modern metal sound is the actual usage of the synths. I aim to create a series of videos that would showcase the different applications for synth usage in modern metal, so that you can apply these approaches in your metal productions. However, it wouldn't make sense to dive deep into each approach before creating a broad picture overview of why producers and bands use synths in modern metal, which purposes do this serve, and how do they actually achieve it. In this video, we're going to look into the broad picture of synth production applications in modern metal, looking into examples and scenarios for this. I'm Dr. Mike Trubetskov, and I'm here to bring valuable information on metal production, recording and mixing. So, mate, please like and subscribe to not miss out valuable information and pass it on to your mates. Let's go! Synths in modern metal can be broadly put into the following categories. Synths for atmosphere, production synths that follow guitars for tones, and synths that support melodies or add harmonic context or hooks. Let's dive into each category with some examples. Synths for atmosphere. This synth application is probably the most obvious. We've all heard the ambient called synths that contrast so much with the heavy guitars. So this pad in the background creates the whole atmosphere. The clean guitars actually add up to that atmosphere quite a bit, but if you listen to this fragment precisely, you can hear that the actual pad atmosphere is louder than those guitars. And to me, this creates that two-dimensional, warm, detached, sort of depressive but positive feel. It's really hard to explain it, and that's the complexity of modern metal, which all of us appreciate so much. In this example here with currents, the string ambience creates the harmonic context, yet adds the actual atmosphere, the deeper feel to this section, the breakdown. And if you imagine this specific section without those strings, this will actually sound really hollow and empty. It will remain heavy with the heavy chugs, but the actual emotion, the atmosphere, the feeling for this section would have been pretty much lost. That's how important the background synths can be. I'm also sure that you've heard these spooky ambient synths that simply sound scary. This makes me really scared. The synths here, the atmospheric effects, more even than the synths, create that intense tension that I believe you cannot achieve by using other instruments. Spiritbox is an example of amazing synth usage, amazing production, and I believe that this is more of a sample-based approach, and you have to use specific libraries, or maybe even custom libraries, I'm not sure what Spiritbox have used here, to achieve such results. And to me, they are a standout, incredible atmospheric synths in modern metal. No one else can do synths like them. Either way, a general rule of thumb for creating such synths is utilizing some pad sounds, applying lots of shimmer-like pitch-shifted reverb, possibly distorting these synths before the reverb if you wish for this to cut through. You may also play around with some dissonant notes off scale for that extra spook factor. Production synths. These synths vastly differ from making the pad-like synths, as these do not necessarily add any extra melodic information and simply follow your guitar riffs one by one. Synths that follow the guitars, however, do add the extra thickness and fill in the sonic context the gaps in your guitar tone. So I've been searching really hard to find synths that would follow the guitars and really stand out in modern productions. Wage War Manic is one of those examples. You can really hear those thick synths following the guitars note by note in this chorus here and pumping the tones up, making them more digitized and more fat. However, to my surprise, I wasn't able to find this many examples of this, and in most cases the synths were quite subtle, serving more as a production layer rather than the main element that jumps on the listener. This is something for you to keep in mind and possibly experiment with, because you can achieve some very cool results with this technique here. Applying such synths makes your guitars sound smoother, rounder, thicker and fuller. Your whole production becomes more digitized and shines through in a modern manner. Brand of Sacrifice is yet another example where there are lots and lots of amazing synths, and to me the atmosphere, the vibe of the band is created by using those unorthodox elements such as Oriental synths like sitar and some sort of epic soundscapes even that create this really unique feeling for this band. However, you can actually hear that there are lots and lots of layers of different synths in this production, and some of them do follow the guitars indeed, and do create the fatter sort of tone. And my assumption is that because the band is saturating the production with synths so much that it actually required some synths to glue the guitars into the production, otherwise they would have fallen out, possibly. I have created a video about such synths exclusively, so you may take a look at the techniques just here. Generally speaking though, you need to grab your guitar MIDI from tabs and put it into an aggressive sounding synth. You want the percussive, distorted, dry tone, and then distort it some more to cut through. Synths that support the melodies. You can use pads or hooks to create the actual melodies that become memorable for your listener. Otherwise, you can try mirroring your clean vocal line with some synths as well. You could even try doing some traditional piano or strings. These actually sound fantastic with low-tuned guitars. And you can definitely mirror or mimic any other element of hook in your production, such as guitar lines, vocal lines, or anything that comes to your mind melodically. Yet another example from Currents, and in this one here we can see that the actual main hook line that creates the melodic context for the song and actually draws the main focal point of attention of the listener is the synth opening melody. Some people refer to this as Stranger Things synth, more like 80s traditional analog old school synthesizers, and we can see a lot of usage of such synths in modern metal actually, to my surprise. They do sound really cool, but the main point is they create a hook, something memorable, a melody that a listener can bounce off, and this melody actually rhymes with the guitar riff. So creating such melodies is not the most simple task in my opinion, and you have to really craft them and work hard on the melodic context of such. Veil of Maya in this instance here is a great example where synths support the vocal line in the chorus. They do not necessarily follow the vocal melody note by note. However, they do create a strong harmonic presence in the chorus. They make that chorus sound more vibrant, bigger, more melodic, a bit smoother, just because it adds so much depth and vibrancy, and they do support the main melody with extra intervals, the harmonic context that is added to the root notes. Sleep Token is one of those examples for modern metal that relies on synths so much. Synths become the main element, or one of the main elements, for their songs. In this case here, we heard a piano melody that counterpoints the vocal melody and basically serves as a melodic element, one of the main elements itself. It's really hard to contain so many melodic elements in a song, not even from the purpose of mixing, but mostly from the purpose of songwriting, so that the notes, the vocal melody and the piano melody do not clash, support each other and counterpoint almost like these do in a classical music. So this is one of the examples where those melodies intertwine together such in a nice way. I hope that you can see with these examples that the sky is the limit for applying synths in your modern metal productions. These main broad applications are the most relevant and the most commonly used these days. I truly hope that this inspires you to experiment with some synths for your next productions, and please let me know in comments which of these interested you the most and which would you like to dial in yourselves and wanted some input on. Until next time, take care and thank you for watching.